It was very light-hearted. It had to be because it was so tough where we were filming. And I think also, it was just a bunch of guys stuck together in a really tough environment, doing a tough thing, telling a great story. I mean, we had the best time. My God, some of the stories I could not tell you.
This is the uniform of your new regiment, the SAS.
The war is in the balance.
Why do you want to fight in the desert, Dave?
Well, just looking at fascists, sir. I am a long shot, but at least I am a shot. We will destroy more enemy airplanes on the ground than the RAF will destroy in the air.
Let the games begin.
Hey, it's Jim Alexander with Real Talker. How's it going, fellas?
Really good.
I'm glad to talk to you. Connor, I got to address you from the start here. Stirling's character here, not enough screaming and yelling, too much screaming and yelling, or, we need less of it. Like, what do you think here?
I think that probably, interestingly, with Tom Shankland, our amazing director, for him, it was always more. And I think there's definitely a version of David Stirling, which is just every line is a scream, probably.
I mean, Stephen, was this something you written into this character? Because it comes up at so many different points. Sometimes it's very warranted, when a parachute doesn't go right. Everyone would scream in that situation. But it's something distinct about this character that constantly is noticeable about it.
Yeah, I think that the real David Stirling was full of rage about many things. But I think when he was at war, he was seeing the war being conducted in a way that he thought wasn't effective, and felt the only way to change the course of the war was to take control. And in order to take control, he had to raise his voice.
Makes sense. Watching now with a different perspective going forward. I'll stick with you here, Stephen. When you're adapting this, I mean, you've done so much work. I've seen most of it, actually. First of all, was this, I'm not sure if you've done sort of this genre of the war and stuff. You've done a lot of different genres, but I'm not sure I've seen it, at least on your end. What was that like for you? Not only the adaptation part from a book and kind of making your own, how much liberty you had with that, but was this sort of different? Did it feel different for you putting this together? Or was it either more challenging or more fun? What's sort of your experience on adapting this?
Yeah, I mean, every project is different, but with this one, what was great, it was to be given the gift of a story that you wouldn't dare make up. As a writer of fiction, you would not dare create these characters, and definitely you wouldn't dare have them do what they do so often. And so here is a true story. So you've got the authority of truth, and you can just tell it and join the dots of what really happened, where it's not a straightforward arc, it's not a straightforward journey, and you don't really, they didn't know what was going to happen at the end. No one did. So you just follow the truth and have fun with it. And that's what, it's always a pleasure to write stuff like that.
Connor, when it comes to David's character, when you're reading the script, and like, what things surprised you the most? You're like, I can't believe this. Like, when you're going through the various episodes, in a sense, or you're getting to learn him more, you're initially, what were your impressions? Were you like shocked about certain things? Do you remember a moment when you're kind of getting familiar with the character, like, no way this happened, or?
I suppose my main thing that I was excited about, or that I was thrilled to do, was all of these great scenes with Paddy and Jock, Jack O'Connell and Alfie Allen, two actors that I very much look up to, and two people that I consider close friends. And just flicking through and seeing these great, long, amazing, kind of hefty, weighty scenes between those two was something that I couldn't wait to get stuck into. In fact, I think my first week was this great big long scene with Jock that I just had the best time filming with Alfie. So all of that stuff was the thing that kind of really made me pinch myself and realize how lucky I was.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I guess, for both of you, there's a lot of comedy, and through truth, there's a lot of comedy that comes out in these situations. What was the set like? Was it kind of, did you guys do kind of the comedic or laughing on screen, or was it a lot more off screen that we didn't get to see? What is the vibe of a set? Because you're telling a true story, but it's also so unbelievable in a lot of ways, and there's natural comedy that comes out of it. What is the set atmosphere like during the making of this?
It was very lighthearted. It had to be, because it was so tough where we were filming. And I think also, it was just a bunch of guys stuck together in a really tough environment, doing a tough thing, telling a great story. I mean, we had the best time. My God, some of the stories I could not tell you. But it was fantastic. The set, I missed the set massively, frankly.
How about you, Stephen? What, as you kind of, putting it to words, but were you paying visits on a set often? How often were you there to see and witness all these things?
I could visit the set when they were shooting in the UK. In Morocco, it was a closed set because of the pandemic. So
yeah,
it was very strictly adhered to. So I didn't get out there to be with them when they were shooting in the desert. But when you watch the show, you feel as if you can feel the sort of the connection between those people, the chemistry. It's much overused word in acting, but the chemistry between these actors is quite phenomenal.
Stephen, you're known for quite a lot of things, but one of them is a very famous game show. Which of these characters do you think would do best on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
David Stirling.
Okay, there we go. Any reason for it? That was a quick answer.
He would have found the correct answers in advance. Somehow, and memorized them, and then he'd have won $1 million.
There you go. Would have solved a lot of other issues, I'm sure. And gotten a great parachute, I hope, from that too. I guess I got to ask it by ending this whole thing, but is there potential for more of this? I know it's adapted from a novel. Like, even Stephen, do you have stuff in your mind that they're potential? I know it's based on truth, but is there something that could be told more, maybe even like in a prequel setting of these characters to this story? What do you guys feel about that? If there's more of this?
There's so much more to this story, and a lot of it is in my mind, and we cannot say any more than that.
Okay, fair enough. And Connor, you're on board with that? Whatever Stephen's thinking there?
Whatever Stephen writes for me, I'll do.
I'd like to see you guys reunite, even if it's something different in the future. I think that there's a good thing that was established, and you mentioned the chemistry was off the hook, and we get to see it. Actually, you can see it through the screen. So hopefully you guys work on something again. That'd be fantastic, if not more of this. Thanks for answering the questions and playing along with me.